Howdy, folks. Welcome back to another edition of Pirate Sports Chat. Today we have men's basketball, and we have a Brady Bunch episodes worth of players and coaches today. So we're real excited to have them all here. With us today, head coach Steve Spencer, associate head coach Jesse Miramontes, assistant coaches Jamal Lee and Steve Tamanaha, and returning players Jonathan Yardley, Andres Ortega, Colby Reese, and J.J. Chappell. Thanks for being a part of all this, you guys. Coach Spencer, let's start with you. Obviously with all this going on with COVID and isolation, that's why we're doing it this way. What's the most important thing you coaches have been able to do during this COVID pandemic, kind of to keep the players mentally and physically prepared? I mean, we got a season to play. Everyone's got it going on. Everyone's dealing with the same thing. What are you guys doing to kind of help keep this thing moving as forward as humanly possible?
Well, first of all, Tony, thanks a lot for doing this. Really appreciate it. It's great seeing your face. And along that theme, I think the most important thing through this Zoom technology is for us to be able to see our players' faces and to be able to communicate with them in this forum where we can see their face and still get together as a team. So it's team, and we're just moving forward with no excuses. That's one of the tenets of our program is no excuses. So whether it's a world pandemic, or it's the opponent, or it's Coach Spencer's got his head in the wrong spot and turned the ball over, no excuses. Okay, so we're just we've used this time to tell our players get in the best possible physical shape you can get into, mental shape, emotional, and spiritual. And if we can do it during a world pandemic, then every day after that should be easy. So assistant coaches and players are doing a great job of forging ahead, and whether we have an indoor workout in their house, in their living room, or their garage, or the guys are outside at a court outdoors and with the ball in their hands and doing 1-on-0 stuff, it's all good. And Coach Miramontes and Coach Lee, Coach T have been doing a fantastic job of really running the drills and everything right now. And the players are doing a great job talking to each other and just staying tied together as a group. So it's obviously not as good as being in the gym and having that kinesthetic feel and being together that way. But, they should have their best mile time, because they have opportunities to run more miles now than they would have. And when some doors close, it opens up doors other places. So, I think the players are doing a great job, and we're just moving forward with what we got to do to get ready for basketball season.
I know my mile time's under a half an hour at this point, so I'm really excited about that. So I know I've been taking advantage of it.
That's your reference point right there, man. That's your reference point. So,
I still have some eligibility left, Coach, just so you know.
Yeah. Next time you try and get 29 minutes and 59 seconds.
See, always looking on the positive side of things. I like it. Jesse, how about yourself, man? You're kind of one of the grizzled veterans of this coaching staff. What's this challenge been like for you? You think you've seen it all in this world, and then all of a sudden something like this gets thrown at you? What have you done to kind of help keep this thing rolling forward?
Yeah, first off, Tony, I want to thank you too for doing this, man. It's not easy, and especially when you have to modify things and revise things. What you're used to. We're kind of all used to something, and you've kind of thought outside the box and brought a forum together that's creative, and I think it's awesome, man. So I just wanted to thank you for doing this.
Thanks.
Tony, getting back to it, I think as long, it's hard. It's always hard, man, when you have a normalcy taken from you. But I think, it's vital that you have people in your corner that support you. My wife and my daughter, they're having Jenna back home, unfortunately, from school, but she's home. Having them here, it makes everything a lot easier. Then obviously, having the staff support. We have solid staff support. We have some good people that care. And they care not only about the game and the X's and O's, but they care about you as a person. I've been doing this a long time, like all of us have. We've been doing this type of stuff a long time, and sometimes you become callous a little bit, I think, with your experiences, and you got to find a new niche. And I found a great niche. And even though this pandemic has pushed us back, a little bit, and made things hard, the value with the players, being able to connect with them, and have something you can look forward to, by mentoring them and working with them and helping them become better, not only on the court, but off the court, because that's key. That's a key component there. That's what it's all about. I don't know if I'd be doing this if it wasn't for the energy that Steve gives me. He brings it every day, and he has a certain way about himself that makes you feel, like you're a part of something. So I'm not going to let this pandemic stop what I do. And we feel that way, I think. So just got to keep pushing forward, and make the best out of what we have. And we're doing that with our players. We're working hard with them with remote learning, and they're working hard, and we're just going to continue to push on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. Players, your turn now. From your perspective, everything's kind of a learning experience in life, and with this obstacle thrown into our schedule, what have you guys been able to do during this isolation and during this time to help prepare you for next year? I think, since every school in the state's going through it, I think the ones that take advantage of this opportunity now are going to be the ones that are 2 steps ahead of the rest of the teams moving forward. So, Andre, start with you. What are some of the things you've been working on? JJ, I'll put you last since you're finishing up your Chick-fil-A.
For me, it's mentally been tough for me.
Yeah.
Just trying to stay self-motivated. But it's hard not having my teammates, my coaches around to push me. But having our Zoom workouts is great. It's not the same, obviously, as inside the gym, but at least we're together virtually working out. But what I've been doing personally during this isolation period is just getting stronger, lifting weights, and like Coach Spencer said, getting in the best shape possible, going on runs, whether the coaches are telling us to go running or ourselves. I've been getting shots up every day, at least, and if I can get into an open gym. But right now we got nothing but time, so we got to use that 24 hours.
Absolutely. Learn a lot about self-independence and self-responsibility during this time, that's for sure. Jonathan, how about yourself? What are some things you've been doing?
Yeah.
To me, definitely been working on my physical attributes a lot. I've been working a lot so that way I can get it out of the way and be working less once basketball season comes around. So that's been one of the things I've been doing. I've been also working out like Andres, doing as much as I can on my own. I mean, it's different. It's better to work out with a team because then you have other people pushing you forward as well as yourself. But you got to make the best of what you got for yourself. And then for me, actually, one of the most important things I feel like is getting tougher and stronger, because basketball is a mental game, not only a physical game. So this has actually been a good opportunity to really work on my mental fortitude and staying focused throughout every situation, because it's really easy to get distracted and lay in your bed and watch Netflix all day during this time. But motivating yourself to get up and get out, run around, play basketball whenever I can at parks and stuff. And it's been a search, because when it first started, all the parks closed. So it was hard to even find a hoop up to shoot at. So it's definitely been a journey, but it's one that I'm thankful for looking back at it.
Very cool. Kobe, how about yourself? I know, obviously this is one of those sports that I think COVID affects more than anybody. I've done some interviews with cross country and golf, and those guys can just go out and run or go to a driving range and hit golf balls all day long. What is it about basketball that you've been able to do to kind of keep an edge on yourself?
I think a big part of that has been, the NBA bubble happening, us being able to have conversations as a team and sit down and talk about that and watch basketball as a team, because I feel like that's kind of a big lost art. A lot of the younger kids, they don't watch as much basketball as they should. So luckily, there is one positive, is that there is a big spotlight on basketball right now. And I'm able to talk to my guys about that and talk to the team about that. And I think social media has also played a big role in that, us having a group chat where we can send each other things and talk about things, privately. So I think that's been a big factor for us staying together. Because in times like this, I think that's the teams that are going to thrive the most. The teams that may have not had the time to spend together in person, but have found ways to spend time together regardless. And then me personally, just working as much as I can here so that I don't have to during season. And also just working on myself, working on my relationships with my guys, because for me, I feel like that's a big part of the game, is making sure that everybody can trust each other. You know, if they trust me, trust my work ethic, and that goes around for everybody, and everybody trusts each other, it translates on the court. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is making sure that my relationships stay strong with everybody, and with the newer guys, you know, building those relationships.
Absolutely. JJ, how about yourself, man? I've asked a lot of questions to a lot of players so far over the last semester, and one of the things they miss the most is just being with everybody and like running till they, I asked a football player, if I could give you a 24-hour pass, what would you do without COVID? And he said, I'd run till I threw up in the trash can like we used to. I just miss that kind of, training with the players and working hard. What are some of the things you miss the most?
Yeah, I most definitely miss being in the gym with my teammates, man. It's always fun going into practice, hearing the coaches yell at you and wanting to push you more, and just always wanting to and just getting pushed by your guys as well. I mean, we have a good group of guys that want to work this season, so it's gonna feel good getting in the gym with a bunch of people that want to work and was gonna want to push you as well. And getting yelled at by the coaches through the phone isn't the same as getting yelled at and pushed on the court. So that's one thing I really miss. I miss getting pushed. But I mean, right now during this pandemic, I'm just finding ways to keep myself motivated in my own ways. You're not always gonna be able to be pushed by someone else. You're gonna have to have your own way of pushing yourself. So that's just one thing I've been trying to do this pandemic, and stay in shape so much as I can.
Absolutely. Well done, Coach Jamal. I got you here. I don't have the other rookie coach here, but you're one of those rare birds in the group that's a former player for Coach Spencer as well. Tell me a little bit about that transition. What's the transition been like for you, going from playing for Coach Spencer and the Pirates to now being a coach, being on the bench? What's been? Tell me some things that maybe most people don't know about that kind of transition. What's it like? You're muted, Jamal. Hold on.
Am I good now?
Yep, you're good now.
All right. I think the biggest one is hearing the coaches' conversations, and being on the other side as a player. You don't hear those conversations, as much, and then those conversations to build relationships with the head coach. I think that, as a player, you more so cater to making the coach extremely happy, and you do the same thing as a coach. But from a player, you're timid to share certain things. And the coolest part about my transition is just really being able to open up way more and learn way more about the game. And Coach Spencer, obviously, we all know is a big time wizard of the game. And just getting out of a uniform and joining forces, just tremendously a big time accomplishment, for myself. And then I think it's just a even better look for our program, just to show that, the better players can join forces with the head coach and do something that's rare, in the form of, being an effective coach, not being, just a player coach, but being an effective coach going from a player to a coach. I know, I was coaching prior to joining forces on this coaching staff, but as a player, I was a player / coach / uncle / big brother / captain, and wore a bunch of hats. So I had a little bit more of a unique advantage transitioning to the staff, being that I was already thinking, like a coach on the court. And then, coach always gives me a little crap for this, but, the way I came in onto the staff, I kind of made my own mark on the staff and just kind of told coach, hey, you know, I'm coaching here. And it's not really traditional to do it that way. And you know, a lot of it was, you know, misplaced, but a lot of it was rightfully placed as well, because, you know, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I never, you know, had that chance early on just to know what you want to do. And so you just, you know, I kind of jumped the gun on it, didn't do it the traditional way and go through a process and, you know, like, hey, coach, you know, I would love to be a part of your staff. You know, I was just already, you know, as a player, like, man, I want to be on this staff. And then, you know, just getting to be a part of the staff, man, is just, you know, a huge stepping stone in my life and my career, and learning from some of the best guys in the game, you know, with Coach Spencer, Coach M, and Coach T, and, you know, and what this program brings to the table and has to offer. So just been a great transition. A fairly easy one, because, you know, once you get to know Coach, you know, you just love him that much more, man. You know, he has a heart of gold, and it's hard to see that as a player when there's accountability and demands on you, right? So, you know, the aftermath of actually joining the staff again and that transition has just been, you know, great to be able to connect way more with Coach on a, you know, colleague standpoint versus a player coach relationship. It's just a different gig and a different advantage. And I'm just grateful, you know, to be in that position.
Very cool. Thank you, Coach Tamanaha and Coach Jesse. This question is for you guys. You know, if those that have seen an OCC basketball game have seen what I like to call the controlled chaos of what goes on at pretty much any men's basketball game. I'm not just picking on Steve here, but any men's hoops team, it's controlled chaos, for lack of a better term. You guys are kind of like the calming presence of the coaching staff, at least from what I've seen during the games anyway. Coach Tamanaha, let's start with you. What are some of the things you provide that kind of helps keep this thing, you know, on its course? And how would you define your role with the team? What are some of the strengths that help this program grow?
Thank you, Tony, and thanks for thinking me as nice and calm. Lately, we've been yelling a lot, but that's cool. You know, one of the things nice about working with Coach Spencer and the others is that we're not afraid to contribute. And being a coach who's been in the game for 20 years now, coaching at this level, I can offer a lot of different suggestions because I've seen a lot, and then probably same thing with Coach Jesse too at the same time. So we're not afraid, and Coach Spencer gives us the freedom to make contributions on what we think we see. Because we've seen a lot, and so we can probably input a lot, different things that we see as the game progresses. One of the strengths that I have, one would be that I can kind of see how the game is going, the tempo of the game, and the overall maybe a game strategy of what we should maybe or may not do. And I'll make suggestions and kind of help reminding all the coaches, hey, this is what we need to do, and this is what we're looking at this point. Now, a lot of contributions I make are off the court. I'm very good at working with the students, making sure things like their basic needs are met, how you doing, that kind of a thing. So I'm that kind of a resource that can help the students across the campus on the other side and things like that. And I really enjoy doing that. For me, at this point of my career, I really, really use this as something that's an enjoyment for me. And their success is going to be my success. And we all think that way, but I just emotionally am tied to them in that area.
Outstanding. Thank you, Jesse. How about yourself? I mean, I've seen you on the sidelines, and I've almost wanted to reach over and just check your pulse to make sure you're still awake over there. Like it's amazing the calming presence you have on that bench. Tell me, what is it about you that what do you bring to this staff?
Well, you know, Tony, you know, I think you got to be reserved, you know, as an assistant, you know, and we all have our different ways of doing it. I mean, you know, I sit next to Coach T and I sit next to Steve, and they're both polar opposites. You know, Coach Lee is a polar opposite. You know, he's got a lot of energy, brings it. You know, and I think I try to try to analyze what really is going on, on the bench. I try to listen to maybe some tones from from the coaches. And then I really try to focus on those components so that I can have a better understanding on how I could help the best. As an assistant, I've been a head coach. I've been an assistant at the high school level, and I've had different scenarios where you've got a lot of energy going on, and then you got my energy, and sometimes, if you don't have factors like we have, because all of our assistants take a great role. They take a great role in how they want to handle certain parts of the game. If you don't have that, and again, I used to deal with that. It's chaotic, man, and and it's got to be chaotic. It has to be chaotic, but I think that my role has to be that of being reserved, listening, hearing, bringing some energy when I need to, bringing some feedback when I have to have that as well. But then still understand, though, that the whole component of the staff and the team is about team. It's always got to be about team, and so that's where I kind of bring my philosophy, on how I deal with that. And don't let a picture fool you, Tony, because when I'm sitting next to the coach Steve T, man, I'm telling you, man, he's a beast. I mean, I got to calm him down. I don't know if you see. I got to calm him down sometimes, and it's it's a great staff, and again, that's where I come from.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Players, your turn now. You guys have now had some a year under this team's experience here, and you've seen the hurricane go through the village when it comes to the coaching staff of various varieties. So this is your chance to save the necks of your first year teammates here. What's some friendly advice you can give to some of these new guys coming in that make the transition from high school to community college and playing at the level that Coach Spencer and the rest of the staff want you guys to play? What's some friendly advice you can give to these guys to keep them out of the doghouse? JJ, let's start with you. What would be your best advice?
Man, I've been in this program this is going to be my third year now. So the best advice I could give to the first year players coming in is to be ready to give 100% every single day, because there's a lot of coaches out there that are going to say good job to you even when you're not doing your best, or even if you're not just not at your full potential. And our coaching staff is very unique at that. No matter how good you're doing or how bad, they're going to tell you the one thing that you messed up on. They're going to keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you till you feel like you're about to give up. But that's how they keep that dog mentality in you. And so just be ready to work and give 100% of what you can every single day, and get ready to be yelled at, but it's for a good reason.
Absolutely. How about yourself, Colby? What do you think? Anything else to elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course. I feel like there's one big thing that was told. I think it's kind of told pretty much on the first day. This is my third year technically in the program, and the first thing coach is going to tell you is, in high school, you could coast. You could take plays off on defense. You could take plays off on offense, because oftentimes, you were good enough to do that. But at Orange Coast College, you're not going to coast. You're gonna play 100% of the time, or you're gonna not play. And so I think that's the biggest thing of advice I would give to guys coming in is, this is not something like anything else you've done before. We expect you to give 100% at all times, and if you don't, you're going to be held accountable on it. And somebody else will come do it if you aren't going to give 100% effort. So I think the biggest thing with this program is just effort. If you give the effort, everything will pay off. If you don't give the effort, then it won't pay off. So at the end of the day, I think for guys coming in, just come in with that mentality of, you're ready to give everything and you'll be fine. But
Very cool.
That's the biggest thing.
Awesome. Jonathan, what do you think? What else you got?
I like what they both said. These coaches really want 100% from you. So if you are doing the best you can for yourself, that's when they're going to be happy. So don't think of it as much that you need to do it for them, but do what's best. What's best for you is going to be what's best for the team. And so you work it all together, and that's when the coaches are going to be happy. And also going off what you said earlier, Tony, it's like a controlled chaos, and we talk about that in practice a lot. It is. We know there's going to be chaos going on all the time, and so you got to be able to solve problems on the fly and control that chaos as it comes up.
Very cool. I mean, I walk out of there with my head spinning. I can't imagine what the players are going through. That's for sure. So, Andres, how about yourself? What's anything else you can add to this topic?
I mean, yeah, they basically said just work hard on and off the court. Come in hungry. I was a freshman last year, so I came in hungry. I'm still hungry, but make a first impression. Handle your schoolwork and be on time to everything. 21 minutes before, which is Pirates time. And yeah, just work hard. That's all I got.
Very cool.
For the new guys.
I like it. Steve, I'll give you the last word on this one. So you're literally giving the answer to the question of the test here. What's it take to keep Coach Spencer and the coaching staff happy?
Coach T had to go. He had another meeting.
That's okay. Yeah, well, we'll go to you, Steve. What's your advice to the first year kids to keep a smile on that face of yours?
Our main thing is work hard. Work hard, fund the grind. You got to fund the grind. And hard work is a skill. It always has been, and I think actually more and more it will continue to be, and especially with all this technology. So everything's a work-based gig, and then just high energy. High energy. If you can try and operate within chaos, because obviously a worldwide pandemic is way more chaotic than anything they're going to face on a basketball court. So, I think what's important too is that we're just trying to get high character people. You could tell immediately from these 4 players, they're just high character human beings. And that's what we're trying to get into our program. They have high quality families. So, that makes our job easier. They're not getting different messages at home than we're giving them. We're just more than not just kind of reinforcing what their families are saying. So it's a complete teamwork from, family to players to coaches to you to everybody involved with the sports program, administration, and the school. So it's a teamwork, team effort. And these guys are just quality human beings. So it's fun to work with them. I learn from them all the time, and I learn from the coaches. So we got, what I think is the greatest coaching staff. We have Coach Cash and Coach Jonah. We talk water cooler guys. Don't be a water cooler guy. Like when you come out of the game, you're supposed to sit next to a coach as close to the coaching staff as possible. And then the other guys move down to the water cooler. Because I say, if you're down by the water cooler, I might not see you, and I might just skip by you and not put you in the game. So don't be a water cooler guy. So unfortunately, Coach Cash and Coach Jonah had prior engagements they had to do today. So I forgot to mention them earlier because they were water cooler guys. But no, we got a quality staff. I'm just lucky. Coach Miramondo's longtime high school coach in the area, and we're just really fortunate to have him on board. Coach T, like you said, was a longtime scout actually for Saddleback, and then when he got the job at OCC, jumped on board, and just great having him be part of the administration too, but also part of our team. And then Coach Lee, like you said, just it's always great to have former players, and then just his journey, his story provides a lot of context for this level and for the players that we get, because his story is the most unique one I've ever had, which is great because then there's not a player that's going to have a more unique journey than Coach Lee. But I just think having somebody that was a former player and have been on that side and then be coaching is invaluable as well. And that Coach Gans was a former player as well. Coach Tran, who was here for all those years before, just awesome. Couldn't find a better guy than Coach Tran, and he was a former player. So it's great to have that continuity. And then with Coach Cash, his story is a great one too, and just fortunate to have him. So we got the best